Hey Mike, what's going on? I just wanted to, uh, show you the bike before you make the trip down here. Make sure you know everything about it before you make that trip. Give you an overview, kind of show you all the sides of it. Like I talked about, the bike is ridden. I didn't treat it like a show queen. It's made for the off-road, and I rode it off-road. So definitely has some battle scars, but it's an awesome bike. I freaking love it. And I'm going to be sad to get rid of it, but priorities. We got to have a baby, I guess. But man, it has a lot of stuff. I mean, really the only thing you could do to this is kind of the Thermobob, which is like a thermostat for the water pump, 685 kit, and aftermarket suspension. That's like the three things that this bike does not have on it. But I'll just go around it, give you kind of an idea of what I did. I know I'm going to forget something, but it's got the bark busters. They're actually pretty clean. Don't have a lot of marks, nicks or marks on them. They have the running lights, which is controlled by this. It also turns on this voltage meter. Tells you the voltage of the battery. This one is not switched to anything. I was going to either put this on grip heaters or seat heaters, or seat heater. Wasn't sure. I just kept this empty just in case. I did notice some of these LEDs were out on this side. There's 3 of them that are out. But really they're just for visibility. More visibility than it already has, but turn that off. So it's got the KLR dash, that's what this is called. It's got the 12 volt, 2 of those marine, so they're waterproof. It's got the KLR dash riser and the dashboard, I guess you would call this. It's a RAM mount for your phone. This says never dropped my phone. It's got a USB plug here. KLR dash riser kit, zero gravity windscreen. This is a prototype, so it actually wasn't ever sold. They sent me this to let me know what I thought of it. I actually had to cut it down because it was, I don't know, like this much taller. It was really, really tall and I couldn't see over it. And then if you had dust on this and the sun was coming from this way, it was impossible to see through it. So I had to cut it down so I wouldn't, for safety reasons, but I made sure to take my time, so most people can't even tell that it's cut. It's got the Cyclops LEDs, both high and low beams. So you can see here, they are super, super bright. Yeah, that's low and that's high. Let's see, and there's a switch here, which is the Denali lights, the auxiliary lights, I guess you would call them. Oh, gotta turn the bike on. So those are the auxiliary lights. This is a floodlight and this is a spotlight. You have different lenses you can change with these. And I'm pretty sure I have the other lens laying around somewhere. Let's see, I think that's all for the front. Newer. I probably have, I don't know, a few hundred miles on this front tire. The brakes, I have not ridden it all winter, so the calipers are a little rusted because it's been in my garage for a few months because it's too cold to ride it. Let's see, what else? Ricochet crash bar, or I'm sorry, skid plate, dirt racks, crash bars, and they have some marks from dropping it, but beautiful thing about crash bars is it protects the bike. With the bark busters, crash bars, and the panner boxes, like those are the main points that it touches, mostly the crash bars, but these things are super solid and they're actually the only ones that will allow you to run the 10.5 gallon tank. There's a stock tank on it, but the 10.5 gallon tank's just a tad bit wider than this, and so you just add some washers here, just make it a little wider. And I kept the washers on here just in case I wanted to do it and I didn't have washers, so I just kept them on here. So yeah, you just add washers and it makes it a little bit wider. I know I'm going to forget some stuff when I start naming this, but it's got the doohickey kit by Eagle Mike. It's got a manual gravity-fed fuel switch, I guess you would call that, petcock. It's got a choke delete, so instead of having the choke up here on your handlebars, it's down here. So with this bike, you know, I did 6,000 miles across the country with my wife. Sorry, I had to let that truck pass. 6,000 miles across the country, and we were in some very middle of nowhere, really. So I kind of wanted just to eliminate all possibilities. I mean, this bike's already reliable. I just want to eliminate possibilities of like anything happening, just little things like the kill switch I took off here, because if that shorts, then you can't start the bike. And I took the clutch cable kill switch off here, which is here, and soldered those wires together, so you no longer need to have the kickstand up or the clutch in to start the bike. I grew up riding dirt bikes, so I'm used to kind of knowing that without having that reminder. So I just want to eliminate any possibilities of that happening on the trail. It's got the Eagle Mike drill through subframe bolt, so instead of 2 bolts going on each side, those are known for braking, and then essentially, you know, with all this weight. So I want to eliminate that, so I did that. Lithium ion battery, so this thing is super light. It weighs like a few pounds, maybe. It feels fake, but I did that. Eagle Mike prevailing torque nut, so instead of having this washer on here, you don't need that washer with this bolt. This is also reusable, so you can reuse that. It has newer sprockets on it, plenty of life left, and like I said, it's been sitting all winter, so things are a little you know, rusty from not using it. But changes, I don't want to say things are, the chain and the rotors are a little rusty from just sitting. Got the IMS extended foot lever because if you have big feet or have boots on, it's essentially the stock one's useless. So this is really nice. This is the pivot pegs, which are also really nice, super wide. It's got the SW Motec center stand. What else? I feel like I'm forgetting something, but anyways, you can see the plastics. You can see a little. Bike's not perfect, that's for sure. It's a great bike. It's treating me well. But I rode it. I had fun with it. But that being said, I feel like it's in still really good shape. It's a sweet bike. It's one of the most customized KLRs I've ever come across. And I bought it stock. There's literally nothing done to this bike. It had 9,000 miles on it when I bought it, and it was completely stock. Happy Trails 10.5 inch, I believe, pannier boxes. Happy Trails pannier rack, Happy Trails puck mount. So to take these off, you just unscrew these and it just slides off. Also got the option for the lock, because that's why I went with hard instead of soft panniers, because I wanted to be able to leave it like at a restaurant or a hotel without feeling like people were gonna rob me. It's got a 4-inch tool tube, some tools back there, and you just screw this. I can't do it with one hand, but you just screw this, and I've never had a tool fall out of there. It's got an LED. I can't remember the manufacturer of this LED, but it's an LED like motherboard. So when you hit the brakes, let's see if it does it. So when you hit the brakes, see it flashes a few times, and then it goes solid. So just a little safety feature, make you a little bit more visible from the back. This is Rusty's box, what he wrote in. I just put stuff in a dry bag and put it back here if I need to use this. But yeah, it's got a few little mounts on here if I want to strap something on top of it. I did relocate this license plate. It used to have a big piece of plastic that kind of hung down here. Got rid of that and just put it up here. I think it looks much better, and yeah, I think it's just better up there, out of the way. Back tires about 50%. The back tire does have some gouges in it from off-road. mostly on this side, you can see there. Got the Lex pipe, it's got the baffle in and out, but if you wanted to be really loud and obnoxious, you can take that out. This pannier box is a little warped from probably falling on this side. You can see here, tiny little crack there. It's still waterproof and it doesn't have any problems shutting, so I bet you could bend that back if you really wanted to. Yeah, just trying to give you a good idea of, what to expect, trying to point out everything. It's got the uni filter in it. It's got 5 1-inch holes drilled on the top of the airbox, which is a really common modification for bikes. What am I trying to say? For bikes that are tuned. So with the exhaust and the air filter, you're able to tune it properly, get a little bit more power out of it. This right here is just a vacuum hose that used to go to the carb, but because the gravity-fed petcock is there, I no longer need that hose. So I just plugged it with a... Oh, you know what? I take that back. This is for the gas tank. So the 10.5 gallon gas tank uses a vacuum from the carburetor. So the other end of this is hooked up to the carburetor. And there's a little pump in that, a little vacuum pump that brings fluid from the very bottom of the gas tank up to the top, to the other side of it, so that you can get all the gas out of there. So that's what this is. So if you ever want to install that, there's a little part like up here that you plug this vacuum hose in. But right now it's just plugged because I don't need it. What else, Mike? What else? But you can see the plastics aren't perfect. Overall, I mean, this bike, I think, is still super clean. And, man, what else? I think that's it. I probably missing, oh, here's one thing. This is Eagle Mike's carb screw kit. So it uses a hex nut instead of Phillips, so you don't strip it, so it's on the top and bottom. So I guess these are known for stripping, so I put that in when I tuned it. It's got a new needle, it's got new pilot jet, new main jet, I think it is. Yeah, main jet. But yeah, I don't know what else there is. The brake pads are recently new. I think they probably have 5,000 miles on it, I guess. I'm guessing. And like I said, I haven't ridden this in months, so it's got a little rust right here, but obviously that will clear out the first time you apply the brakes. But let's start it up. I'm not pressing the choke, so hopefully it starts. Okay. Still cold, so I'll let that warm up a little bit. High beams, and then your auxiliary lights here and here. And hopefully you can hear me well, but I've never had somebody pull out in front of me with this bike. I think it's just because how bright those lights are. I've ridden a lot of bikes in my life. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Wasn't thinking. I'm just turning the lights off. But I had a lot of bikes, in my day, and a lot of people would pull out in front of you, but I think with these super bright LEDs, it's just, people see you a lot better. Did I tell you it has a lithium-ion battery? I can't remember, but lithium-ion battery, it's super, super light. It's a sweet bike. Man, I don't want to get rid of it. Priorities. But anyways, that is the bike. Let me make sure I turn it off so I don't kill the battery. But yeah, that's the bike, Mike. Let me know if you have any questions. You know, I want to make sure you know what to expect with everything. I do have these bags I'm going to give you as well, from Altrider, which is the same company the tank bag is made by. So these are just dry bags that are strapped to the top of the pannier boxes. There's some straps that come with that you can strap it on top. I do have some stuff laying around. This is a heavy duty front tire tube, brand new. These are from Walmart dry bags. They're not nice at all, but I have sock lever right here. Put that over here so I don't forget about it. I have the stock windshield 3-inch tool tube. I found this to be too small, and a stock handlebars. That's really all the parts I have. I know I have lowing links somewhere. I can try to find those. Pretty sure. Yeah, there's a new clutch cable down there. And I know I have the stock choke cable too somewhere. Just gotta find it in here. But anyways, like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye.